A dynamic duo, Mr. Positive. A.
Hey, Rob and Nova, send us some more innocuous or relevant information. Anything else you got? Hey, Rob and Nova, send us some more stupid information. Send us some more.
I am so excited. I believe in the magic.
Speaking of magic, I think this guy believes in magic. Let's go to Shelby Township, see what's going on with Gregory here on night.
Mr. Positive A. Mr. Positive
Jeez. Welcome to the Robert Banker Show / the Rob Diddy Podcast, which now, if you don't know, going with the title, The Robert Banker Show, a little more adult, a little more professional. Behind me, as you see, my blind is messed up. I just got a new kitten who's been causing chaos. Please excuse the disruption. This is also majorly what I'd like to call it. We're running trials. We're greasing the machine back up. We're getting back to what we did before, what worked, what was going to be a sick podcast, but then I got a job and I got busy. But it's all right. We can always come back stronger. Today, the Lions won last night in epic fashion, dominating the Bucs. Huge game. That's going to be our first segment or chapter, whatever you want to call it. Part 2. Is Shohei Ohtani the best baseball player of our generation? Part 3. What should the Tigers do about Tarek Skubal? Could they trade him? How are their prospect rankings? What other prospects could they get for him? What would happen if they kept him or whatnot? And a little bit of wrap on the season. Then we're going to drop into Michigan State preview, as well as NFL fantasy update for last week that just wrapped up. Who are the top players for fantasy and overall? As always, you can email your questions to info@gainsmedia.com or social media at Rob Diddy at Gainsmedia. Got Gainsmedia.com back going strong, rebuilding the website to back what it used to be. The Lansing state leaders are voting to increase hunting and fishing licenses in a total of $20 million. Now, if you do not do either hunting or fishing, obviously, like many people in this country, you don't hunt, you don't fish, doesn't mean anything to you. What's $20 for $25 for a fishing license, $12 for a hunting license? It's a lot, because some people's families have grown up in a culture where hunting is part of the way of life. Hunting is something they do with their family. Hunting and fishing is something families do together. And some families have to eat that fish or that deer they killed because they have nothing else to eat. And that money they spend from that hard-earned paycheck, wherever they worked, goes to being able to supply enough food for them to help them to get through. Hunting and fishing may be less popular than it used to be. At one point, there was 700,000 hunters registered in the state of Michigan, aka people who bought licenses to hunt and fish. That number is now down to $350,000, which, not $350,000, 350,000 active deer hunters or active hunters in the state of Michigan in the year 2024. Now, hunting's expensive. Fishing's expensive. Both fishing and hunting can be cheap if you use crappy equipment. If you're a good fisherman, you have expensive reels, expensive lures. You might have a boat. This might not be a big deal to you. But the guy who fishes on the shore or off the docks, as my cats start to fight each other, every dollar that he spends towards fishing, maybe because his family has nothing else to eat, maybe because they like fish. What about the hunters who hunt deer and then donate the meat to food banks across the state? Realistically, raising the prices because less people are doing it kind of sucks. And I know that most of the funding goes to things people care about more. Roads, schools, health, human services. Hopefully, they can come to an impasse and not raise it by $20 million and make exceptions for those who are low income or seniors or those who are students or, maybe people who hunt and fish is a way to feed their families. Some way, somehow, hopefully, they can come up with a solution to not harm everyday Michiganders who enjoy hunting and fishing.
And a miss. Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani! Great. Whoa. Is it a yes? And there goes Ohtani. Shohei lighting up the highlights already. And a swing and a miss. Ohtani deals for the Brewers. And a swing and a miss. Oh!
Man, Shohei Ohtani might be the greatest pitcher in the National and American League, all of baseball, while still being a great hitter. A man who had 10 strikeouts and 3 home runs in a playoff game. Is he the greatest player of our generation? Only time will tell. But currently nobody is as good as Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Many people might say that back in the day, pitchers pitched more innings, threw more pitches, did complete games, Babe Ruth pitched and hit. But in our modern era, protecting pitchers from Tommy John surgery, what Shohei Ohtani has been doing is awesome. Some might say that he's the best that ever existed since the old era, but it's kind of hard to compare the different eras of baseball because there was not as much technology in the 1900s, early the 50s, the 60s, and whatnot. But yeah, my man pitched 6 innings with 2 hits and 10 strikeouts. Then as a hitter, he was 3 at-bats, 3 home runs. The man is quite simply phenomenal. And now with the Dodgers and the Brewers in the World Series, we will see if the... Wait, no, it's not the Brewers, my bad. The Dodgers and the Toronto... No, damn it. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers. It should be a very exciting World Series, considering Vlad Guerrero Jr. is as dominant of a hitter as Shohei Ohtani, but Ohtani can do it from both sides. And the Blue Jays have an aging staff. And my cat is in the background using the litter box. Awesome. And then we get to the Detroit Lions, who on Monday Night Football were dominant. They had a game that was, well, at times it was great. At times it was boring. It was a very weird game, very up and down. But the Lions pulled it off in the end. The game was something that really, you liked it. You liked how dominant the Lions were. Great running. Jahmyr Gibbs had approximately 17 carries for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 catches against the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. That was a double increase of his yardage against the Chiefs, where he had the same amount of carries for only 65 yards. The Lions and Jared Goff, they flipped the ball back and forth with the Buccaneers. Both teams played sloppy at times. And, the Lions pulled away with the victory. Now they go 5-2 into their bye week. And Dan Campbell wants them to focus on rest during this bye week because he wants them to keep up their winning ways and try to keep it copacetic and win on the year like they did last year, but not fall out in round 1 of the playoffs.
Field has the deep man. They give it to him. Running left. Touchdown, Wolverines!
Great block by Eric All. Watch Alls. He's going to come all the way outside, and he's just going to continue to extend this play out to his left. First shoot.
All right, there we go. So Michigan is known as a run, pound the ball team. Sometimes they get great elite quarterbacks like Bryce Leonard is right now, the Tom Brady, J.J. McCarthy's, and then there's the pocket passer who they're known for mostly just getting the ball downfield, pro-style offense, playing the game the right way. But what you just saw is how Michigan, it was built back in the Harbaugh era. And like I said, they won, not major all the time, usually an 8-4 regular season or 9-4 with a bowl win. But you get what I'm saying. That's what Michigan is. They're just a consistent team that has a winning record. They might sometimes get in the national championship spotlight, but historically, this is what they've been. And Sherrone Moore has them what they've always been, a team that goes 8-4, 9-3, winning records, makes bowl appearances, makes it to Rose Bowls. That's what Michigan is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this edition of the Robert Banker Show. Today was clearly a more video-focused podcast episode. If you are listening on audio, go to gainsmedia.com/podcast for the link to the YouTube channel. There's also a link for the regular audio forum podcasts there too. Follow on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and all that. Secondly, I'm using XSplit Broadcaster to record this. XSplit makes it easier than OBS or any of the other formats to do your live stream podcasting because the price is more affordable. Use my discount code GAINZMedia for 20% off of your monthly price or your yearly fee to use XSplit. The reason I like XSplit is it makes it easy for me to switch scenes, add transitions like this.
Be in a bunker mentality till we decide we're not, till we decide to come up to the surface. But it is wonderful being here today, as I said, and seeing everybody, and hope you understand that. I don't know what, Dave, you had planned for.
XSplit makes it easy to broadcast and edit your videos in real time as you are trying to podcast, live stream, even broadcast video games. It's whatever you want it to be. XSplit makes it simple and easy. Again, use my discount code GAINZMedia for 20% off your XSplit monthly price.
And hope you understand that. And I don't know what, Dave, you had planned for media for me or the players, but there won't be a whole lot of.
All right, so we gone from the great era of Jim Harbaugh, where Michigan was winning national championships and dominating. But here's the problem. When Harbaugh created all this atmosphere where they were stealing signals, they were learning what the other team was going to run by watching their reactions, the way things were called on the field, the whole Connor Stallions scandal. Michigan is back to the point where they were during Harbaugh's first few years, like 2015 to 2019, and then 2020 COVID season, when they weren't stealing signals. Sherrone Moore was picked because he was on the staff. He won a championship at Michigan. He filled in when Harbaugh was, suspended. Thing about it is Sherrone Moore the right guy for this program at the moment? With everything being on national championships and advancing and being the team, that Jim Harbaugh, Bo Schembechler legacy team. The thing about it is Sherrone Moore has got Michigan where they usually have been, like during the Lloyd Carr years. They sometimes are in the national championship picture. Most of the time, they're just a winning team that's in bowls. There's 12 playoff spots. Michigan State is a disaster. Michigan is what Michigan's always been. So hopefully Michigan is able to move forward and get, some kind of run in the playoffs to help them to push forward and to compete for national championships. I think Sherrone Moore is the right coach for this team. And hopefully the Michigan donors and boosters think so too. That's the same thing. And then in other news today, as I'm recording this on Thursday, I've been going through getting it all set up. This is obviously more of like a mock trial of actually trying to do longer form podcasts. Anyways, Chauncey Billups was indicted today, arrested by FBI, along with Terry Rozier, because of gambling on Rozier unders in basketball games. That means he bet like the guy will have under 10 points, he'll have under 10 assists, and so forth. As you remember, Chauncey Billups was part of the 2004 Going to Work Pistons, who won the NBA championship. This is a very weird turn of events for a man who was seen as the class act and beloved in Michigan for his accomplishments as a Detroit Piston. Very weird. Very weird indeed. Also on that note, let us see. In the NFL, we got Thursday Night Football tonight on Amazon Prime. Obviously, Mike Evans is on the IR after his concussion and injury against the Lions on Monday. Again, that was a good back and forth game. It's kind of tough because they were playing equally. The Bucs were getting shut out for a while, but the Bucs had a chance. It was one of those games where it's a nail biter, going back and forth. But anyways, Rodgers says playing the Packers is not a revenge game. Interesting, as you know, when he played the Jets, he was pissy after the game and loved beating them. But what we want We're going to go fantasy football. Okay, that's not going to work. All right, so let's transition here. All right, so we have a new NFL week coming up. We got, some, like I said, a game tonight and games this weekend. We also have Michigan versus Michigan State going on, which this year kind of is odd because the Michigan team that usually is supposed to be dominant and have a huge game, it's not quite the team that we thought they would be. And Michigan State, even under Jonathan Smith in his second, third year, they're not performing the way that they are supposed to and how everybody thinks that they would. But Michigan will probably win due to Bryce Underwood dominating the game and doing much of what he's already been doing this season. He's pretty good at quarterback, and the running game has been there, and the defense has been dominant. Obviously, I got Michigan to win that game. It's kind of hard to pick against him in this situation.
The handoff again is to Gibbs, and he's got a first down with a couple of missed tackles along the way.
That's the space that he had on that last play to run.
2nd down and 4, quick snap. Wide open and now turning upfield is Gibbs. Full head of steam inside the 25.
Glad I'm not a DB.
Right up the gut, there goes Gibbs. Foot race. Winfield can't get there. Touchdown Lions.